Great news. We want to hear from you. We want your questions, your thoughts, all of that good stuff. And you can email us now at podcast@mancity.com.
Absolutely. We will be back. This season is a season that's now behind us. Today is a new day. We start working and preparing for next season, and I can assure you this club will do everything possible to come back to the standards that we know we all can achieve and that we know we will achieve. And I can see the hunger in these players, and that's the attitude you want.
The official Manchester City podcast. Watch the full video version of this show via City Plus now.
Chairman, thank you once again for inviting us into your house, to your home, to discuss the season. I mean, players, pundits, managers, they've all had their say on it. It was a difficult season to navigate at times. But now the dust is starting to settle. What's your view on it?
Well, Chris, first of all, thank you. Always a pleasure speaking to you. What is it, 15 seasons in a row we've qualified to the Champions League, 7 seasons in a row, semi-finals, the FA Cup, 3rd season in a row, we're in the final. In a tough season like the one we've had, to end up where we've ended up, not at all anywhere near the aspirations that we've had, not anywhere near the high bar we've really set upon ourselves. But listen, it's okay. It's a lot of lessons learned, a lot of experiences that we will never forget, a lot of challenges that I've never dealt with personally, professionally over these last 17 years combined. And the culmination of all of that is a experience that I believe will be invaluable for us going forward.
In all businesses, in all walks of life, say you learn more from your bad days than your good days.
Absolutely.
What specifically have you learned?
The beauty about football, let's start, is there's always a new season. And today we get to turn this page. The season that just passed, 24-25, is behind us. The records are there, what we have achieved and what we haven't. And it's basically black and white. What went into it in terms of that journey, that the emotions from day one to yesterday is the experience that you learn from. And in life, particularly in the most challenging times, that's really where you learn about yourself, how you handle that stress, that pressure. When things get thrown at you that you don't expect, things from left field, many circumstances just didn't work our way. And by the way, that happens in life. It happens. You're going to have injuries. You're going to have things that don't go your way. You're going to win games that you don't deserve, and you're going to lose games that you deserve to win. It just happens. It's just a lot of these things happened for us this season at the same time. And we had to deal with it. And we had to stay strong. We had to stay focused. We had to stay, composed. I'm particularly proud of how we didn't overreact in the hardest times. So that dealing with that challenge was important for us to stay cool, understand the issues that we're dealing with. And I think we managed that. We managed it, and we handled it as a group. There was no finger pointing, there was no quitting, there was persistence, and there was perseverance, and at the end of the day, achieving what we had set ourselves to achieve in the midst of the hardest times. And I think we achieved it, which was, at the end of the day, we needed to finish as high as possible.
So the message going forward to the supporters is what? We'll be back?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We will be back. This season is a season that's now behind us. Today is a new day. We start working and preparing for next season. And by the way, we've been doing that since January. And we will take all the good things and the not so good things from this season and learn from it and improve from it and get better. And I can assure you this club will do everything possible to come back to the standards that we know we all can achieve and that we know we will achieve. Because really, if there's one thing I'd like right now, is to turn that page from last season and just immediately start focusing on next season. And I think all the players, everyone I saw yesterday after the Fulham game, all the players, they're excited. They're excited about coming back. Nobody feels good about how we finished the season. They want to come back, and they want to come back hungry And I can see the hunger in these players. They want to come back to preseason. Normally these players are off and they're also starting to think about vacation time and etc. Honestly, every player I spoke to was telling me, we're coming back. We're ready to come back in 3 weeks' time. I was speaking to Rodri as an example. He's looking for games. Erling didn't want to go on vacation. He wanted to stay with the physios and prepare for next season. And that's the attitude you want. And that's exactly why you see me so positive. And we're going to come back strong with a lot of positivity. I just got off the phone right now with Ferran. He spent the day with Cheeky, Pep, and Hugo today, this morning. We finished yesterday evening, our last game, and today we're working. Nobody's going on vacation yet.
So the perceived wisdom is that there might be some sort of renewal of the squad this season. Can you tell us what that might look like and what sort of transfer business people can expect?
Yes, this club has gone through, as always, a regeneration. We've gone through, I think, at least when I look at the last 16, 17 odd years being involved in this club, so many different squads, and we've done it, I think, in a structured way over the years. This year is another year where I think, when I look back, I think last summer we probably should have been more aggressive in some of the changes we needed to do. We didn't do that, and that ended up costing us this year. We already started that rebuild of this team in January. Normally we like to do our business in the summer, and only in case of emergency or a special need that comes up do we actually go and do business in January. That's been our MO, at least for the last 7-8 years. But this January you had to act.
I was going to say, well, as soon as you brought it up, the profile of the players you brought in January as young players, how do you think they've settled in, and what sort of future do you think those players are going to have at City?
Well, first thing I want to say is they all fit the construct of the squad that we are trying to build. And whether they would have come in last summer or this summer now, all of them are players that we've been following for a while, that have been well scouted, that fit within the profile in terms of both age and position and technical versatility, that fits within the way we've worked on this team. Our management, our coaches, everybody's involved in this decision making, from Ferran to Cheeky to Hugo now joining in, and of course Pep and his coaching staff and the entire scouting team. So this is a really team effort, as always, in identifying the talent, identifying the areas that we need to address. I think with Omar Marmoush, excellent player, and I think very clear. He's been on our radar for a while, and would have been a target for this summer, but the need was clear. He's come in, and you can see he's made an immediate impact. Then you have Kuzanov. Kuzanov is another very, very talented central defender that we've been again watching for a while, and again in the winter would have been a player that we would have made the move on this summer, but we needed to move early. At that moment, if you remember, there was a lot of injuries in that very specific position, which is in central defense. And Kuzanov is the type of young, versatile, very talented central defender that I think would fit perfectly within our group. Vitor Reis, very talented central defender, very versatile, 19, young, but has all the attributes of what we think will be a tremendous player for this club. And then finally, Nico Gonzalez, very talented player, again, has been on our radar for a while. We had very specific needs in that holding midfielder position in January. Never easy to move players in the January window. Never easy for them to come in and immediately perform in the Premier League to start with. In our team, which is again quite a team, but credit to all these 4 players. They all came in and immediately added to the club and to the team, and we feel very good. We feel very good about these players. That's 4 players in January, and that gives you an idea of what's coming this summer, because we will continue this summer with this, serving the needs of the club. And I can tell you today, that's, I would say, day 1 of the new season, we have clearly identified who exactly are the targets, in what positions, and we have our clear number 1 option, our clear number 2 option, and we're going to go about our business, and it will be very clear, very swift, And our objective is to try to be ready with the new squad for the Club World Cup.
I was going to say, one person who won't be back, we know for sure, is Kevin De Bruyne, at least not in a City shirt. I mean, you've spoken a little bit about him already. You presented him with the mosaic, and you said some lovely words about him. Can you want to expand on exactly what Kevin De Bruyne has meant to you as a chairman and a City fan, and to the club as a whole?
Kevin has been just extraordinary.
Well, you called him the greatest player in our history, and you've already got his lovely photograph behind you there in your house. So,
listen, I mean, obviously I have a subjective view, and my view is from the lens I see from the football I've lived over these years, obviously as chair and but also as a fan of this club. And what Kevin has given to this club, in my view, he's the greatest player to play for this club. I think his accomplishments speak for themselves. His accomplishments for the club in terms of trophies, in terms of that tally, number of Premier Leagues, the Champions League, FA Cups, Community Shields, Carabao Cups. I mean, it's an unbelievable tally, the highest of any player that's ever played for this club. His personal achievements, twice PFA Player of the Year. He's been a captain, he's been a leader, he's been a teammate, he's been everything you'd hope from your most important player. His influence on everyone, from the academy to the communities of fans, not just of the club of Manchester City, but of football all over the world, is unquestionable. So Kevin, what he really transcends this team, and I am so proud of what he's accomplished. It's one of the best decisions we ever took. The day we took the decision to invest in Kevin and bring him from Wolfsburg. I remember some people thought we overpaid.
Mm-hmm. Some quite high-profile people.
Yes, it's one of the best memes out there, huh?
Yeah. And from the outside looking in, he's also been fairly low maintenance over those 10 years. That must give you a great sense of pride, because any business who can keep its staff, let alone, ordinary staff, let alone high performance, high maintenance.
Yes, the environment is key. The environment is the people. The environment is the culture, and I think what we have at the club today is a great culture, and that's what brings the magic, and that's what brings all the trophies you see in that picture. Kevin, yes, was an incredible player, but he had an incredible team around him, incredible coaching staff with him, an incredible organization supporting him, and I have to say, the best fans in the world, an incredible fan base that has been just amazing. All that together is what makes this club so special.
And while we're talking about Pep, and I know you've grown closer and closer to him over the years he's been here, and a year ago we didn't know whether he was going to stay, and now he's committed to 2027. How pleased from a personal point of view were you that he signed that contract, and how has your relationship changed over the years, or if at all?
Like any relationship, this has been now it's going to be almost 10 years working with Pep and getting to know him and to be closer and closer to him. You've asked me this question many times over the years, whenever his contract was due, and you've always seen me relaxed about this, because I think one thing we have with Pep, which is so fundamental, is one word: trust. We have trust, and it goes both ways. I think he trusts us, he trusts me, he trusts the organization, he trusts the club, and we trust him. And that trust is what, in the good times, allows you to keep winning, and in the tough times is the hardest, and that's where that trust really shows up. And we've gone through all these ups and downs, and we've always stood together as a team. And inevitably, it's always shown to be the foundation of our success. So I have a lot of trust in Pep. I think he had a tough year, like many people. It was not easy for him professionally. It was not easy for him personally. But I have the highest respect for him as a person. How he handled this year, how he handled the hard parts, how he's behaved, always with respect. And, you get closer. You get closer always with time and with new experiences. And I think this year, if anything, got us even closer together, given the challenges that we've had to deal with.
And we talked earlier about players staying a decade, and Silva, Company, Aguero, great names of the past, Kevin. And now you've got Erling, who you also mentioned was so keen to not go on holiday. You've got him signed up for 10 years. Can you tell us a little bit about how that came about and why so long?
Well, it's clear. We know what we have now in Erling, which is the most prolific striker, I think, in the world. And we have Erling in this club. We have him completely bought in to everything that is Manchester City. He is an incredible talent, he is an incredible person, and he's at the right age. And when we look at the next 10 years, Erling is at the heart of what we are building. And it was, again, for me, a pretty clear, easy decision.
It's amazing you say the word building when you just come back off 4 consecutive Premier League victories and all the trophies we've won in last year, and yet you still believe we are still building to something better?
Absolutely. What you talk about is history. What we are focusing on is the future, always. History is great and it's lovely and we celebrate it and we enjoy it, but then the page flips and there's a new page to write. And the future is about what we can do together. How many more leagues we can keep winning. How many more Champions League we can go on and win. How many Club World Cups we're going to go and win. FA Cups, Carabao Cups, Community Shields. It's writing the next chapter and the following chapter. And Erling is at the heart of it. And I think this commitment it goes both ways. It's Erling telling the club and telling us he's betting on us. And it's us telling him, we're betting on you and we're betting for the next 10 years, you're going to take us to the next chapters with more trophies and incredible success.
And another man who's been at the club a long time, but he won't be after the summer. I think he's staying through the summer. And we mentioned him already being in the office this morning, making those decisions with Pep. Cheeky, can you put into words what he's meant in the last 10 years?
He's a legend. Cheeky is a legend, and I don't use that word lightly. 13 years, what Cheeky has accomplished has been integral in the success of this club, in every part. Having an effective football director requires a particular style, a particular vision, a particular approach. And I think if you're going to go to the Oxford Dictionary and search for football director, I think the image and picture of Cheeky should be the image that appears. He is the personification of an incredible football director in everything he has done and everything he has accomplished and in the way he does it. And I look back at 13 years he's given to the club. I think the trophies obviously speak for themselves. His role, his handprint is in every one of these trophies. All these players that have come in over these years, all these players that have also exited, managing that operational side of it, dealing with multiple managers from Mancini to Pellegrini to
and all different personalities.
Very different personalities, all handling them with grace and eloquence, all building trust and confidence with all of them, and then being a great custodian for the club. In being very conscious on the financial side of it, which is again quite to get that balance between the football knowledge and the right financial knowledge and make the right decisions both in terms of the entries and the exits. I mean, he's brought in, I think, over £1 billion of revenue from player sales. Wow. in his 13 years with the club. And then he's rebuilt multiple squads. And his role, even in this now latest iteration, with the work that he's done in January and the work that he's doing together now with Hugo this summer as we enter the Club World Cup, I think is a testament to his professionalism. Coming from the business world, I'm always, a big fan of managed transitions. keeping the talent as long as physically possible, and then managing the transition in the most effective way. I'm very proud of how how the club has handled this transition by, again, agreeing with him in a very timely manner over these last couple of months, so that it's going to be as smooth a transition as it can get.
One person you're not going to be looking for, one position you're not going to look to fill this summer is 6, and we talked about Rodri chomping at the bit to get back. How big a miss was he this season, and how proud of him were you when he collected that Ballon d'Or?
Well, first of all, again, we should be so proud at this club to have finally a Ballon d'Or winner. We've had at least, I would say, 3 players that had a very great shot at it. Erling, Kevin, and I will argue even Sergio over these years. And finally, Rodri gets the Ballon d'Or. And he was deservedly the winner last year. And then to get injured in September with an ACL injury and lose miss the whole season effectively in the year that he won the Ballon d'Or is tough luck. And Rodri, beyond the Ballon d'Or, just as a player, is such an important player for this club in every possible way, on the pitch and off the pitch. So he was a huge miss for us this season, massive miss. But credit to him, he's been a top professional.
Look at the speed at which he's come back, which is, he must have been putting in a lot of hard yards.
To handle the therapy side of it, the surgery first, and then the therapy, and then going through, these weeks and weeks of difficult recovery. It's hard on every player, and it tells you a lot about the personality. Some players are good players that recover well, others not so well. Some fast, some slow. Players. They're humans. Everybody's different. Rodri, I think, was top notch. He was a Ballon d'Or also as an injured player. He was just, again, the best. He trained hard, recovered hard, was very disciplined. He wanted to be on the pitch as soon as physically possible. But we have to also be careful. The doctors and the physios, they have to be comfortable for him. We're thinking of Rodri for the long term. We're thinking of Rodri for his career, and we wanted to make sure that we, play it safe. This season is this season. It is what it is. There's nothing you're going to change about it. He's now fully fit, and he's ready. And I have no doubt Rodri's going to come back to the heights of the Ballon d'Or year and more. I'm so excited about him coming back.
What an example of a player to have in your club. With the academy next door, they must be looking at Rodri and going, I want to be him. I want to play alongside a Ballon d'Or winner. I want to be with him to play. I want to emulate him. And again, there's been success this year in the academy. Nico O'Reilly being the standout springer from the pack, I guess. Have you been pleased with the way that's gone again this season?
Yes, the academy continues to grow from strength to strength. The academy continues to produce great talent. Their competition, I think, in England, they remain very competitive at every age group, which is something we're very obviously proud of. And then ultimately, the players that are able to, like Nico O'Reilly, join the first team, and not only join the first team, but actually become contributors to the success of the first team is obviously the great ambition we've always had, and we've had a great history with that, from the Phil Fodens of the world, Rico Lewis, James McAtee. I mean, we've had many players now that have come through over the years.
And there seems to be a pool of talent waiting in the wings, as it were. If you look at just pure results, FA Youth Cup finalists, PL2 won again. And I spent some time in the academy a few weeks back and was talking to Thomas, and he was saying that connection, and Cheeky was part of that. Cheeky would visit the academy on a daily basis or a weekly basis when, if he was away. And that connection between the two
is very important.
Departments.
It's very, very important. The connection is very important. The consistency of success, the tradition now, because now we have really that tradition of success. Almost 10 years of a tradition of success, of high standards, of connectivity between the academy and the first team. Obviously, I think the CFA was designed for that. Having the academy and the first team really in one campus, there's no question that is a physical construct that allows that to happen, combined with the philosophy, which is the ethos of this club and that interconnection between the academy and the first team. And that is something everybody's bought into, everyone's committed to, and I think the players understand that and realize that. Both, by the way, both the young players, they can see and aspire to being part of the first team, and the first team, when Pep invites some of these young players to come train with the first team, I think if you watch some of these training sessions you see how our first team players behave with these academy players, that behavior, that professionalism, I think is so important. And that's what creates some of the magic that we've been seeing.
Finally, in this section, just turn to the women's team. Again, they face challenges. Change manager Gareth Taylor left after many years as part of the City family, partway through the season. How do you see them bouncing back and closing this domestic gap, A, with Chelsea and B, with Arsenal, who won the Champions League?
I think our women's team also have high standards, and our standards were not met this year. It's not where we would have ended, where we would have wanted to end in terms of the performances and in terms of the results ultimately. The distance isn't that far between ourselves and let's say the leaders in the league. I think when you look at Chelsea and Arsenal, I think who have set the bar this year, to give them the full credit. I think it's an amazing achievement for the English game, having Arsenal win the Champions League, and I think that's great because that for us now raises the bar, and now we know what we need to also do as a club and as a team to be able to compete at that level, both with what are now the leaders in the women's game in England, and we know we can see the distance between us and how to make it closer. It's about people again, and then the decisions we will take are going to be decisions with that objective, the objective to bring this team to compete in every competition that they participate in, and to maintain a high standard as a club, and we will do that.
How excited are you for this summer's Club World Cup and the new format? A brand new version of the Club World Cup. Where do you think that can go?
Well, as the defending champions coming into this new format, of course we're very excited. We're very excited to come in as champions. The format, actually, I really like it. This is a very, very serious competition. I think in the summer, the whole world will be watching this. A big number of the top teams in the world will be competing in this tournament. And I can assure you, we're going to give it our best shot. We're going in there to win it. We're going to go in to try to win this tournament. This is the beginning of the new season, not the continuation of last season. We take some rest. The team will take the rest right now, and then they start pre-season, and then immediately straight into the Club World Cup.
Maybe something that has surprised you this year is the situation with fans and ticket prices, availability. You've spoken, every time I've spoken to you, you have gone out of your way to say how much you value the loyalty and support of our fans. It's perhaps fair to say there might have been a slight disconnect this season around ticket prices. Is there anything you'd like to say on that?
Yes, I think this is a very important question. This has been a relationship built on trust between the fans and the club, and that trust comes both ways. And I think this issue on ticketing is no doubt something that I'm not okay with the way it played out. I think the management team is working very closely with City Matters, addressing and understanding the issues. That's key in solving any issues. You have to understand what the issues are, and you have to really constructively speak and try to work it out. What I'm sure about, and I hope this message comes out loud and clear, is that relationship of trust between the fans and the club is the foundation of the success and sustainability of this club. And we know that, and we appreciate that deeply. These conversations with City Matters and our fans will continue, and we will try to find solutions always to address some of the challenges in a way that is fair for everyone. Some announcements have been made so far, but there's more to come. We're going to work hard. We're going to continue to work hard together to find the optimal solutions that work for everyone.
There is something we can talk about in terms of a new arrival at the Etihad, in terms of the stand, not a player. And, I'm not trying to get to talk about play, but yeah, the stand, the topping out ceremony is taking place. Yeah. How pleased are you? I mean, you're regularly in Manchester, so you must have had a look at it. And how pleased are you?
It's coming up very fast, very, very fast. It's going to be a great addition to the campus. I think the stand you will see, I think once we start the new season, I think everybody start physically seeing it a lot clearer. The hotel is also coming up nicely. It's moving very, very, very fast. We're happy with the contractors on the ground. This is going to be a game changer. You will see over these next 12 to 18 months.
And in terms of Co-op Live, that seems to be going from strength to strength. I was only looking at the artists coming there yesterday. It's quite a list.
It's been a very, very successful, I would say, first year for the Co-op. It's exceeded, I would say, all our expectation in terms of the number of events, obviously the success in terms of revenues and performances that have happened over there. And really, I think the generation, it's helped the city of Manchester. It's been just really an absolute win-win-win across the board.
And while we're talking about entertainment, Oasis are back together. And the collaboration last year was with Noel and the kit. I mean, that's something quite different.
Yes.
How did it come about? How do you think there'll be more of that sort of thing happening?
Yes. Well, listen, here I have to say, Puma have been phenomenal. Really great partners to the club. Really love the creativity. I think that particular kit was superb, a huge hit. I think the fans love it. Noel was really brilliant in terms of his role and the creation of this kit. And I think you'll see a lot more of that. You'll see Puma, the Puma City Football Group partnership, and particularly with Manchester City, is getting more and more creative. I knew this was going to be a hit. There's no doubt. I mean, the combination of Noel, Oasis, Puma, Manchester City. I mean, the combination. I knew we were going to get it right.
The annual question, Chairman. So we're 12 months on, and we've still not heard anything from the ongoing inquiry. Is there anything you can tell us about it?
Well, I suppose the only thing I can say is that we still don't have a ruling. Once there's a ruling, I'll be able to speak about it. And until then, we just have to be patient, and it'll come, and we'll talk about it. I promise you, once we have the ruling.
So annual question and annual answer.
Yes.
If we can just turn to CFG, quite a mixed bag across the group of teams, as you would expect with any group of teams the size of the City Football Group is, but specific success in Brazil. Can you talk us through Bahia's exploits this year?
Yes, I mean, it's a great story. What's happened in Bahia, taking a team from the second division in 2 years to go to the first division and to be competing in the equivalent of the Champions League in Latin America is a really amazing achievement. I think the Brazilian football league is going to become one of the premier leagues around the world. Obviously, the talent has always been there, but for whatever reason, over these years, the league hadn't developed. Now it is. It's becoming very commercial. It's becoming big in terms of TV viewerships globally, and you're seeing these clubs now get better and better. And we're very lucky. I think we have a great team in Brazil. We've been part of that journey from the second division to the first, and now back to competing at all levels. And the amount of talent that's coming out, I mean, just look at, I think the value since we bought that team of just the squad has gone about 100x.
Wow.
It just shows you.
I mean, what's contributed most to the success then? Is it just CFG methodology? Is it coaching? What is it?
I think it's everything. I think it starts with obviously a great base, which is it's a great club with a great history and a great heritage, with a wonderful fan base. So I think you're starting with a very good foundation. And I think the club, the City Football Group philosophy of managing clubs, of putting the right management in place, putting the right, let's say, football philosophy, management philosophy, and then really using the strength of the network of the group to its full effect. That's what we found over the years to be the best combination. And I think you see it in full force in Bahia.
And if we can just move continents to Australia, men and women's team, very successful this season in Melbourne. Again, Asian Champions League, winning premiers, grand final coming up. How pleased are you with their progress?
Very pleased, because again, Melbourne is a great example of a club that's through that years of careful management and careful investment and putting that club to where it is today. You see the consistency. Team always competing year in, year out to win, obviously, to reach. We're in the grand final that's going to be played next Saturday. But we're there. We're always there. And I think that's the great thing. And now you're seeing it with the women's team reaching the Asian Champions League final. We're there. And that's what's great about Melbourne and what we've accomplished in that club.
And across in New York, you've broken ground on the new stadium.
Finally, finally.
We've talked a lot about it over the years, but it's still, it's the first football-specific stadium ever to be built in New York, and you've laid the foundation stones.
Well, more than the foundation. The work is fully now in full effect. Construction is happening at a fast pace. This is going to be an incredible stadium. We're very excited about what we're doing in New York, what we're doing for that community in terms of a proper football stadium with a team that now is closing on 10 years. So it's been a great journey, and they've deserved a stadium, and finally they're going to get it. And we have now line of sight of when it's going to be finished, and it'll be transformative. I think football fans in New York, for our fan base, and really at a time where football is booming in America. Always when you invest in infrastructure, when you invest in high quality infrastructure, it has a domino effect on the area. I mean, we are lucky. We have a good location that the stadium is being built in Queens. Across from Citi Field, so it's a very, very good location. I think it's going to make that area even better. I think it will add a lot of value to the community over there. They've learned to build a great passion for the team, and now they'll get their stadium. And I think we're pretty good at building infrastructure. We're doing that all over the world, and this franchise in New York is organically built. We started from scratch, literally, being a new team, and building that club to what it is today, and a club that's going to have a great stadium very soon.
So in terms of CFG, Chairman, where are you in terms of the worldwide as a group? Are you happy the way it's performing?
Yes, I am. It's developed very well. We look at, obviously, the City Football Group as a group, but then each team individually. And each team gets the attention it requires, and gets a lot of attention, obviously, from the whole leadership team. There's individuality with each club, depending on where they are around the world. Each one has its own requirements, its own, I would say, specifics. But I think overall, one of the things that gives us confidence is how many similar models now are following our CFG model. There's a lot of other groups now that are pursuing what we have built at City Football Group, which tells you, I think there's an appreciation right now that this is a good model, and it's a model that's effective, and it's a positive model. So we're very happy with that. I think I don't think it's not copying or anything. It's actually when you do something well and people do it also, it's a good thing. It means you're on the right track, and I think we are on the right track in the way this group is being managed.
The one thing that always strikes me that remains constant is the drive for City football academies. We've seen it again in Manchester and with the women's team. We saw it in New York. We've seen it in Melbourne. And you continue to build City football academies. What's the idea behind that strategy, and how successful has it been?
Well, I think we have a very clear view on what model works. And the model that has worked for City Football Group in terms of investing in these clubs all around the world, investing in academies, as part of that connectivity that we talked about earlier between the first team, the professional team, and the academy. That connectivity, that model, has been really what's raised the value of this group. What's shown to be the model that is very effective, both on and off the pitch. And it's really now we're getting better and better at knowing what works and what doesn't work. So you see that in the newer clubs that have joined to the group, where we are, not having to go through the trial and error, where we know, given the experiences we have. And by the way, even the football is different. It's not the same in New York as in Montevideo or Girona or Yokohama or Melbourne. You have to also learn the culture, learn the population, the fan base in that particular country, and then factor that into that model. So I think, just to conclude, the academy component of any team we invest in is fundamental.
Sadly, Khaldoon, we've said goodbye to two very well-known City personalities in the last 12 months. Can we start with your thoughts on the man who became your friend after you met him in Manchester, Sir Howard Bernstein?
Sir Howard had such an impact on the club. He was instrumental, honestly instrumental. When I look back at these, let's say 16, 17 years, what we've accomplished in terms of building out the CFA, what we've accomplished in terms of building out the Ittihad, the investment in East Manchester, he's been just, absolutely a giant. And he did it always with such humility, with such passion, such commitment. Obviously, as a fan of the club and as a big part of the club, he is, someone that I always regarded as a friend, and he will be missed, but never forgotten.
I think someone else who was a calming spirit, Tony Buck, former player and manager for the club. Again, we said goodbye to him.
Tony's influence, again, as a player, as an executive, his presence, with us for many years. He was an incredible person, and arguably one of the best players that has ever played for this club. And he will be missed. He's been a great supporter of the club in every form that he's participated in, and we are eternally grateful.
The unbeatable official Manchester City podcast. Watch the full video version of this show via City Plus now.
Got a question? Send us an email at podcast@mancity.com.